All right, welcome back to Migmatis Golf, everybody. Very quick video on training aids. If you've been watching the channel recently, you notice I've been obsessed with the correct release. I've always been a trail hand releaser, which means I flip like that, kind of this, so I get rid of all of this angle in the back of my wrist. And what does that cause? That causes, first of all, you don't hit it very far because you don't compress the ball. You can play pretty well like that, but it's quite inconsistent because even though the brain thinks that's the easiest way, it kinda can vary a lot where the actual club gets squared. I tend to pull it left, low left when I do that, so I'm too active with that right hand. Anyway, so we all know I'm obsessed with the correct release recently. And I recently, well not recently, 6 months ago or something, I purchased the Hack Motion. I bit the bullet, paid that high price, bought Hack Motion, and then one of my best buddies' birthdays was coming up, so I bought him Hack Motion as well. And every time I talk to him on the phone, he raves about how it's the best thing that's ever happened to him. It's transformed his game, and I agree. As far as correcting your release, it's as good as it gets. That thing is the bee's knees, but not everybody has that much money to spend. So I'm going to go through all of the training aids that I've purchased or been given over the years to try and help me fix this problem. And a lot of them I didn't really fully appreciate at the time, if I'm honest, or didn't really stick with them long enough. Had I done so, I might not have the swing problems I have now. So without further ado, let's start with this guy. I'm sure you've seen this guy. This original guy was called the Swing Guide, G-Y-D-E, Swing Guide. It was quite expensive to start with, $30, $40, I think. It might have even been almost $50, but you can pick them up. The patents expire. You can pick them up now on Ali or Amazon or something for under $5, okay? Little piece of plastic, basically goes just below the grip on the shaft, and when you go on your backswing, this little like quarter circle bit's supposed to fit nicely onto your kind of forearm like that, and on the follow through it attaches again. That's how you know you've released the club properly. Okay, you know that famous L to L drill, kind of just half swings. This thing is great for that. I'm not going to bore you exactly how they all work because I've done videos on each one. You can go search my channel for those. And also the infomercials are still out there, so go do your research. But I wish I stuck with this original guy. I didn't really use it enough. I just wanted to go play, score, and I ingrained a terrible release. So, stupid Migmatis. Okay, option number 2, which I did a review about a few years ago, and actually got a lot of negative comments about it because people loved it and I was on the fence. And that is, I've lost a part to it. Where's that gone? That is the Greg Norman Secret. So the Greg Norman Secret is yet again a plastic molded device, goes on your trail wrist like that, and it's kind of like has a cup in it to mimic the back of your wrist when it is cocked. And the goal is that your little finger sticks in this Velcro bit and you can't release. You literally can't do this with your wrist. So the only way that you can swing is to, with the back of your wrist still bent, is to turn your left knuckles down to the floor to square the face. What I didn't like about this is if you were to attempt full swings at full speed without the proper technique, you might injure this finger. I found that very uncomfortable and a bit dangerous, but as everybody commented, it's a great device. Just make half swings with it until you ingrain the proper feel, and then you should be fine. But this was very underrated by me. I think it's been very successful. I'm pretty sure you can pick up knockoffs of this now. I'm not sure if they still make the actual one, but this was a really good training aid for getting the correct release. You cannot hit the ball straight or left unless you release the club properly with this guy on. So I go back on what I thought about that. It's better than I originally rated it. Right, next, one that I was given So my good friend Chart, ex-pro golfer, actually played golf, I think, in Scotland with the owner of this company, which is the Gem. And he asked the guy to send me one for free, and he kindly did. Apparently a lovely gentleman. So the Gem is yet another training aid that acts as a bit of a counterweight for the center of gravity or the center of balance of the club. And it kind of attaches on the underside. Go watch the infomercial because it does much more than that, and it has different length shafts and stuff. But basically, if you don't release the club properly, this weight will make the club wobble all over the place. And you basically, in order to swing the club smoothly, you get into a rhythm where you have to release the club properly. So a great device. However, this was pretty expensive, and that led me to making my own. I have a video on my channel. I have a lot of videos about making training aids for cheap with hardware store parts, and that's what I've done here. So go watch that if you don't want to fork out for the real McCoy. I would suggest you buy the real thing because it's that good. So that was the next thing. Then came, was it 18 months ago, maybe a year ago, then came the training aid that was all the rage all over social media, the Pro Sender. But it's a piece of plastic and it was so expensive, almost 200 bucks for this thing. I just thought that was ridiculous. So I did a bit of research and I found a knockoff on AliExpress or Amazon, I can't remember. This one was called the Melee Lynx. I also made a video about that. Go check it out. This does the same thing as the Pro Sender. It basically goes on your trail wrist. It has like a molded thing that the back of your right or your trail wrist sits into, and you're supposed to have the sensation of leaving that wrist there in that cradle until after you strike the ball. Gets you to release the club properly. This guy here, the first one I bought, Melee Lynx, is awesome. It's almost a carbon copy of the Pro Sender. Really good. But then I saw another YouTuber make a review about a very similar device, but it has an added feature. It has audio feedback. That's right. So this is even better. What I will say is this one isn't built as well as the Pro Sender. The cradle isn't as nice, doesn't feel as quality as the other ones, but this added feature is awesome because, as you know, when you swing a golf club, once you take that club away, your focus is all on the ball and everything else seems to be a blur. And it's very hard to concentrate on a feeling in your hand. It's very easy, however, to strike the ball and then notice whether or not this thing clicks after you've struck the ball or not. If it doesn't, if you don't hear it, or it's clicked before the ball or at the ball, you're not doing it right. So I love this thing. I haven't done a video about this. I might do a video about this in isolation. Who knows? But this thing was dirt cheap. This one is called the Baijia Golf, B-A-I-J-I-A, Baijia Golf. Got this on AliExpress, very cheap. So yeah, I've tried that as well, but none of these compare to the Hack Motion. Hack Motion is the pinnacle of devices for sorting out your release. So if you can afford to stump up for that, I suggest you do that. The whole goal is to go from what I do, this with your trail wrist, to this. The bend in the back of my right or trail wrist is still there, and the only way I can square the club is by turning the knuckles of my left or my lead arm down like that, keeping forward shaft lean. Bang, compressing the ball. That's it, folks. Simple as that. I thought that would be worthwhile giving you all of the options to try and sort out your release. I hope that helps you. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that bell. You'll get notifications of my next videos. Tell all your friends about the channel, and hopefully, most importantly, you'll subscribe. All right, thanks. See you again soon.